Good day, everyone, and welcome to the WANA webinar series. As you will notice, all participants have been muted. If you have a question to ask, please send your questions into the Q&A panel located on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, or by pressing the three-dot option along the bottom and selecting the Q&A panel. Your questions will be answered after the presentation. If you have any technical issues, please send a private chat to the host, the directions of which you can find in the chat window. Thank you all for joining, and please welcome Lisa Kessler from the Fountain House.
Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, the 9th in our WANA webinar series. Today we will hear from two wonderful clubhouses, Putnam Clubhouse in Concord, California, and Alliance House in Salt Lake City, Utah. They will be telling us about the robust and innovative social programming that they have put together to ensure that their community remains strong and connected throughout these tough times. During the past several months, we have all experienced a heightened sense of awareness due to both the COVID pandemic and the social unrest that has erupted in the United States and felt around the world. At this time, it's more important than ever to avoid isolation and find ways to decompress with your friends and colleagues. I have been inspired and impressed by clubhouses all over the world implementing social activities that not only mirror what they do in the physical space, but often go above and beyond. Hidden talents have been identified and newfound relationships have grown even stronger than we could have imagined. Over the past several weeks and months, communities have found an unlimited number of ways to support each other and have a lot of fun through unique and creative programming. So now we will hear from Alliance House. I hope you will all be as inspired as I have been.
Good morning, everybody. Alliance House is so excited to be here. I'm just going to pull up a PowerPoint. All right, so I am Paige Huff, and I am the Executive Director here at Alliance House, and I am joined with one of my colleagues.
My name is Anna Park, and I am a member here at Alliance House. I have been for about 6 years, and I'm also on the faculty.
Fantastic. Alliance House had to physically close our doors on March 17th. And as you can see, Anna and I are here at the clubhouse together, so we have started a soft opening. However, in order to ensure the safety of our community, we have continued to do our social and after-hours activities virtually. We just wanted to share with you some of the things that we have been doing in order to stay connected, still have fun together, and make sure that we're still keeping our routine. As soon as we had to physically close our doors, we wanted to make sure that we kept schedules as close together as they were when we were all physically in the same building. In order to do this, we wanted to make sure that our wellness, our evening, and our weekend activities continued on the dates that they would have if we were still physically open. We also know that it's really important that we utilize the talents and the strengths and the abilities of the members of our clubhouses and of our staff. And so throughout this presentation, you're going to see different slides that highlight the different strengths and talents and abilities of the members and staff of Alliance House. It's also really important to note that going into a virtual clubhouse has put a heightened level of stress on members and staff, and it's really important that we pay attention to our self-care and that we avoid burnout. So in order to ensure that we were able to continue to do our wellness and our evening and weekend activities, we made sure that staff schedules accommodated that so that they weren't working 14-hour days. They would comp in the morning and then work the evening activity. And it's really important that we recognize that as a community as a whole, that we want to make sure we're taking care of each other. So the picture here on the left highlights Vincent. He is a member of Alliance House, and he is an instructor in Tai Chi. And we did Tai Chi every week for our wellness activity, and we would all get on Zoom and he would instruct us how to do it. You may recognize the individual to the right, Mr. Richard Simmons. We wanted to make sure that we're still having fun, and so we would get on and we would do his dance parties in order to do some physical activities. We then used the information that we gained from Mr. Richard, and we did online virtual dance parties. And everybody would get a funky outfit on, and members and staff would just have a good time together. During these times, it's also really important that we are taking care of a holistic approach to our self-care. And so we wanted to also highlight mindful activities with members and staff so that we're able to take care of our minds during this time as well. So this is a screenshot of a gratitude video that we watched on YouTube that talked about how to find gratitude during a time like this. And then members and staff were able to communicate with each other, different things that they learned from this, but then also things that they're grateful for. And it was a way for us to stay positive. A lot of information is out there right now, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or just Googling random news feeds that talk about the pandemic. And we felt like it was really important that our members and our staff are getting accurate information. So we did regular visits with Nurse Kelly. She is a registered nurse here in Salt Lake City. And she would get on Zoom and answer any questions that we had or dispel any information that we may have learned so that we have accurate information to stay safe. We also wanted to make sure that we were still doing things by consensus. So in order to have activities, we had to do activity planning. And this is a screenshot of the Zoom call that we had where we did activity planning, and staff and members went over different options of things that we wanted to do, and we came to consensus on what activities we were going to be holding. We also had holidays during this time, and we want to still be able to celebrate our holidays together, even if it's virtually. And so for Memorial Day, we did a barbecue lunch that could be picked up curbside. And after members and staff picked up their lunch, we then went home and got on Zoom and did an activity together so that we were able to celebrate the holiday. We have a staff that is a yoga instructor, and so this is just another highlight of utilizing the skills in your clubhouse. So once a week, we would do sitting yoga. This is a very easy technique. It kind of caters to all abilities. And we would get in and stretch together and just spend some time together and focus on our physical wellness. We also wanted to utilize the resources that are on the internet. There are a lot of virtual type of activities that can be done over Zoom. This is an example of GeoGuessr. And this is a little app where it will drop you into some random location and you have to navigate through the map and try to figure out where you're at. And it was a lot of fun for us all to stay connected and just problem solve together. We also wanted to get creative with community resources. So we contacted Ashley, who is an art instructor in Arizona, and asked her if she would be interested in doing after-hour instructions on how to do art. And this became very popular within the clubhouse, and so it's going to be ongoing, even with us physically open. And she gets on and she teaches us different art techniques and how to draw things, and then at the end, we share what we have created. And it's just a lot of fun to learn something new. Discord is an app that our members and staff have utilized, and I'm actually going to have Anna talk about this because she's the expert in this area and she's found it very useful during this time.
So what Discord is basically a chat room for Alliance Press to utilize. It is for members and staff, and it's available to us 24/7. We can get on and talk to each other, check in with each other, reach out if needs be. I've used this app many times, especially during our lockdown, and when if I'm having a really hard day, to reach out to my community and know that I'm not alone. It's been a lifesaver for, I know, a couple members who were having rough days and have reached out on Discord and was able to talk to their community and to be able to know that they're not alone, to know that they have a friend, and to get the help that they needed, but whether it be just someone to talk to or a number to call. It is also, it's not all serious. We also have fun on Discord. We have, it's called Music Play on it, and we're able to play music and for like the whole house to hear, well, the whole room to hear. And we are able to learn about each other's music taste, learn about new music coming out, And this has been a fun way for us to stay connected. And with that, I'll give it back to Paige.
Thanks, Anna. And one thing that I've really enjoyed about Discord is it is purely social. There's not any work order day type business that's done on Discord, and it's after hours, and it's just a great way to get to know the Clubhouse community on a different level. And so it's been a lot of fun. We've had a couple of events that we typically do that happened during the time that we had to physically be closed. One of them is Label Fest. This is a fest that Alliance House hosts every year. We're going on our 4th year of doing this. And Labeled is a way for us to connect with our larger community. And the hope is that, one, the larger community will learn about Clubhouse, but then 2, that we are displacing the stigma associated with mental illness. And we are educating our community on the realities of mental illness in a very creative and artistic way. Since we weren't able to physically have Labeled Fest, we had to become creative in trying to find a way to still connect with our community and still have a successful outcome for Labeled Fest. So we downloaded an app called Kahoot, and this is on your phone, and Kahoot communicates with Zoom. So Brian Higgins is who we contract with, and he created a virtual game show where he would ask questions on the screen on Zoom that have to do with mental illness, and then everybody would get on their phone and answer the question. And then on Zoom, you would see a tally of this is how many people got it correct, this is how many people got it wrong. And there were prizes that were given out throughout the game show. And we just wanted to take this picture. This one's really special to me. But every time we have Labeled Fest, we take a picture of participants doing a thumbs up. And the message is thumbs up to mental health. And so we really wanted to emulate that again. So we asked everybody on the call to give their thumbs up and took a screenshot of it. And it was a really successful event, and we had a lot of fun. The other event that we typically do during this time is the NAMI Walk. That's really a big event here in Salt Lake City. It had to be canceled physically because of the pandemic, but NAMI is a really big partner for Alliance House, and we wanted to be able to continue to support them. We also wanted to encourage our Clubhouse community to get out and be physical and get out of their house and go on walks. And so it was really important to us as well that we still participated in this event. And NAMI did this virtually and asked people to take pictures and send it in to them. And so here's a picture on our phone of us participating in the NAMI Walk together. And it's just a really positive way for us to stay connected and still support our larger community. So just a couple of takeaways. Be creative. There are so many resources out there that help us to stay connected virtually and be able to have after hours and weekend activities. Utilize the talent in your Clubhouse. There's so much talent out there and so many people that can help with these activities. And most importantly, have fun. There's a lot of negativity happening right now in the world, and the force of positivity and laughter and connecting is what's going to help us get through this all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paige and Anna. Now we will hear from Haley and Paige over at Putnam.
Thank you guys so much for having us with you today. We are excited to be able to present. So, like Lisa said, we are from Putnam Clubhouse, located in Concord, California. My name is Haley Thomas. I am the Young Adult Coordinator and the Social Media Coordinator.
And my name is Paige. I am a member with the Putnam Clubhouse. I work in hospitality, and I'm also the Young Adult Lead.
And today we're going to be speaking about how to utilize social programming to lift spirits during this difficult time. So Putnam Clubhouse has very extensive programming. It didn't used to always be that way, but with the shelter in place, we had to adapt to the needs of our community at the Clubhouse. So we came up with some easy programming that is easy to implement over the weekend. For example, we have a book club every Saturday, and the book club picks the book out themselves. We read and discuss it together, and it's a really great option for clubhouses all throughout the world because you can really tailor what you're reading to the needs of your own clubhouse community. The site that we've had a lot of success with is openlibrary.org, but there's a lot of other sites out there. You just have to Google them. We also do something called Saturday virtual outings. And for this, we realized that a lot of places have gone virtual and done virtual tours. So we have been world travelers. We've traveled all around the world. The different sites that we have found success using is YouTube and TravelZoo. TravelZoo often has like a top 20 places to do a virtual tour. So we highly suggest those. And also on Saturdays, we do young adult gatherings. This is just a time for young adults to get together, hang out, and also plan different fun activities that we would like to do. For example, we did a pizza party last weekend, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Paige to talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, like Haley was saying, the young adults group did have a pizza party. And the way that works is we did a lot of outreach to our young adult members. We would make sure they would RSVP, we would confirm their home address, and we would also have to find a pizza parlor that could deliver to all of our members roughly 15 minutes before the young adult meeting started. Best part about this is that we ordered the pizzas all online, which made it very easy to schedule the deliveries all at the same time. Once everyone had their pizza, we would all hop on Zoom, we'd eat pizza together and have a good time. You can all do the same thing. It's just finding the pizza parlor that will deliver to all of your members.
And continuing on with our weekend social programming, on Sundays we have what we call Classic Movie Sunday, and so it's a matinee from 2 to 4. We found a website, it's listed here, ranker.com, and it has a list of the top best free movies on public domain. And public domain just means that you can watch them for free and they're accessible to anybody at no cost. So we stream that and we use Zoom, but we also subscribe to Disney Plus and Hulu. And we have found through trial and error that if you want to be able to share your screen while you're streaming movies on these websites, you would have to use the Firefox search engine, which is very similar to Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. We also have a social programming in place called Friendship at Dusk. And early into our shelter in place, members were giving us feedback that while they enjoyed all of the programming throughout the week and throughout the days, the nighttime was often most difficult and the most lonely time, so we really had to figure out a way to fill this gap. How we did that is every weeknight from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we gather as a community on Zoom and we play games, we watch movies, maybe we listen to music, or we just spend that time together talking, chatting, getting to know one another. And we have gotten such great feedback from our Clubhouse community, and it's often one of the most attended programs that we have.
And we do continue our holiday programming, but we had to figure out a way to create meaningful celebrations through shelter in place in a virtual world. We would look at the calendar for the upcoming month, see what holidays were coming up, and members and staff would work together and come up with how to virtually implement that holiday into our planning meeting. We would promote each holiday programming through social media, also in care packages that we've been delivering to our members that request them. We get creative and brainstorm during these meetings. We don't look at what we can't do, rather we look at what we can do. And so far that's been working out a lot for us. And through our holiday programming, it keeps us connected. And helps us have a fun time during shelter in place. And currently, we are planning a 4th of July celebration during shelter in place, which may include the barbecue lunch, a parade of sorts virtually. It'll be an overall great time.
And as Paige mentioned, we do have planning meetings. This happens every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have this planning meeting with members and staff, and this is to discuss all aspects of the upcoming month and any social programming we are brainstorming or wanting to try to implement. So we get out a calendar, look and see what's coming up for the month, and then we start breaking out into teams, signing up for who wants to do flyers, who wants to work on promotion, who wants to work on how it's going to be implemented. It's been really great seeing all the creativity coming out during the shelter in place. And we've worked really closely not only with our executive director, but with the community as a whole, just to develop unique and exciting programming that our members are going to want to be involved in.
And through navigating our social programming, we create a lot of flyers. And for our flyers, we include the date, the time of the event, and the idea. You got to keep it simple. Too many pictures, too much information can make the flyer feel a little too busy, and we don't want the reader to lose interest. So we create something that's eye-catching and vibrant and simple. A lot of us at the Putnam Clubhouse use a variety of programs to create these flyers, such as Microsoft Publisher, or if you have a MacBook or any other Apple computer, you can also use Pages. And over on the right, you get an example of one of our flyers that we did, May the 4th be with you, a little Star Wars tribute, and we watched Star Wars Episode 4. And this flyer really got a lot of people's attention simply because you got Yoda on top of the Death Star. And if you would like any tips or any further details on how to make these exciting flyers, please reach out to us. We would be happy to help you create something of your own.
So when shelter in place first happened, the Putnam Clubhouse was very inspired by WANA. We could feel the energy and the message of We're Not Alone really pulsating through the Clubhouse community. So in one of our planning meetings, we got an idea that we wanted to be able to come together as a Clubhouse international community and showcase all of the awesome talent that we have throughout the world. So we thought, well, what's better than Clubhouse Got Talent? So we came up with a date and time. We had a team create the flyer, and then as a unit, we started reaching out to clubhouses all around the world. So we had members and staff calling, emailing, posting on Facebook and Instagram, and we even had people reaching out personally to colleagues that they met at different trainings or events that were Clubhouse related. And we did not stop that promotion. I think that up until the day of Clubhouse Got Talent, we were contacting clubhouses, inviting them, wanting them to join us, show off what their talents are. And it was an opportunity for our work order day to be utilized in our virtual world because we could have members doing these calls or sending these emails in the comfort of their own homes. And so it was really awesome to be able to incorporate the work order day in that way. And the same thing applies for our open mic night, which was just about a month following our Clubhouse Got Talent, and we had really great results for both. I know that with Clubhouse Got Talent, we had over 100 people in attendance at one point. These are just a few screen grabs of what it looked like. We had up to 6 pages, I think, at one point of people. It was a really great time, and we really appreciate everybody's attendance. With that being said, if you have any other questions about the programming that we are doing or you want to brainstorm with us because you have an idea but aren't sure how to implement it, feel free to give us a call. Our number is located on the screen. My email as well as Paige's email is on the screen. And here are just a list of resources. I know that this is going to be going out to all of you, so you can click on these links. And we have more resources available to you as well. Just let us know. And thank you for having us today.
Thank you so much, Paige and Haley. That was all so informative. Now I'm really excited to hear what questions we have from our wonderful attendees. So please let us know what the first question is.
Thank you. For those of you that have a question you would like to ask, please submit your questions in the Q&A panel located in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, or by pressing the 3-dot option along the bottom and selecting Q&A panel. Your first question: how many of your social activities were member-led or created?
So Paige and Anna, I'd like to take that question first.
Yeah, I would say that we have 3 social activities a week, and we have 1 wellness activity a week. So that's a total of 4, and I would say probably half of those are member-led, but all 4 are identified or chosen with member involvement.
Great. And Paige, would you have anything to add to that?
To echo what Paige said, a lot of our social programming is very much member-led and with member idea and involvement. I know that in our planning meetings, while we're brainstorming, members come up with a lot of the ideas that we are implementing now in our social programming. I know Tamara is also on, so if she has any further input on that.
Tamara, I think you're on mute.
Hello. Yes, when we're in the implementation stage of a programming opportunity that's either new or existing, a member and a staff team are partnered. For example, like Paige and Haley partner up with the young adult for the planning and facilitation of the Saturdays, the same as the book club. We have another member working with Haley on the book club. So that's part of what our planning looks like when we have our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday planning meeting in our work order day, is pairing who would like to do this next social activity together in partnership.
Great, thank you guys. Next question.
Thank you. Your next question: what kind of response did you get from the members with all of these programs and activities?
Paige, Paige from Putnam, would you like to take that question first?
Sure. We got an overwhelming positive response with all of our programming, especially Friendship at Dusk. That one has definitely made a lot of difference for many of our members, and it's one of the more highly attended social programs that we do. And everything I've heard from all the other members and some staff is that everyone has a good time, a good experience, and a lot of the time everyone just likes to sit down and talk. So it works out for everyone.
Great. And Anna, from Alliance, do you have anything to add to that?
Just that our members have been great at participating and coming. They've been really enthusiastic about the activities.
Great, thank you guys. Next question.
Can you give us any more info on Kahoot? And you said that you can create a game show. Any insight on that?
That's all you guys at Alliance have.
All right. So Kahoot, the game show was created by the person that we contract with. And so I can definitely get more information and send that out so that you have that. But it's an app that you download on your phone, and it's spelled Kahoot. And then the person who creates the game gives you the link that you put into the app. And then when you pull that up, you'll get to see the game show that was created. And so I would definitely need to get some more information to give you the most accurate answer, but I'll make sure to send that out to Lisa.
Great, thank you.
Will Putnam Clubhouse continue to have their wonderful international talent shows and open mic programs for Clubhouse communities around the globe following the COVID-19 pandemic?
So just in case you guys don't know, Tamara is the director at Putnam, so I'm going to throw that question over to her.
Sure. Yes, we are, and we have a third one already in planning stages. We had in our community meeting yesterday that as we are planning our July calendar together, that we are going to be getting out to you all soon a time and a date and a flyer to again engage the worldwide community into a third. Yes, we're so enjoying this, and to get the feedback from everyone around the world how much they're enjoying it is very inspiring to us, and we're having a really great time facilitating and putting them on, and it's our pleasure to continue to do so as long as everybody would like us to.
Kelly, thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. We get a lot of people jumping on our other social programming just to say, hi, we were at your Clubhouse International, Got Talent, or the open mic night, and it's been really wonderful just seeing so many different faces from around the world, and we are so excited to be able to do more of that in the future.
And if I could just add, we at the Putnam Clubhouse very much intend to keep our virtual programming going even after COVID-19 passes.
Do you have anything else to say about that? Expand on that thought a little bit. About anyway, actually, if you guys have anything about continuing virtual programming throughout your opening.
Sure. It always comes back to friendship at dusk. That's like our bread and butter right now. But we intend to keep our social programming, and we are definitely going to keep our virtual work order day going as well, to keep members who can't come in for whatever reason, they might live too far away. It's something that keeps them engaged with the Clubhouse, and that's something we really want to keep going.
Just this week, our agency board of directors met, and we had a couple of planning meetings and finance meetings, and so we implemented a fund in our budget, a line item where we have made the decision to go ahead and move towards at least starting a workroom and in time a unit, and in 1 month we're going to be hiring 2 new generalists to Putnam Clubhouse so that we can start the phases of reopening our physical clubhouse, but being able to staff and coordinate the continuance of the virtual program as well.
That's awesome. That's really great to hear. And actually, the same question to you guys over at Alliance House in terms of continuing your virtual programming as you begin to open up your physical space as well. Like a plan.
We created a committee for reopening back at the beginning of May, and our reopening plan consists of 6 phases. And within each phase, it's very outlined of what will be physically in the clubhouse, what will be virtually, and it's not until phase 6 that we're going to have our social and weekend activities in person. And it's based off of what's going on in our community, and we're all in different places, and the pandemic is hitting at different extents. And so that may not work for everyone, but it's what we feel is the safest and smartest thing to do in our area. And so until then, which there's not a time frame on the phases, it all depends on cases, but until we get to that 6th phase, we will continue to do social after hours and weekend activities virtually. However, it's not until about phase 5 that we will have all staff in the clubhouse. and so, or be able to even function at full capacity in the clubhouse. And so we will need to continue to do our virtual unit as well as for the work order day. We want to respect the decisions that our members and our staff need to make for themselves, and we want to honor whatever decision they feel is safest for them. With that being said, we feel like the virtual community or the virtual unit and virtual activities are going to need to remain because people are going to want to stay home, and that's okay. That's what they need to do for them, but we still want to keep them engaged.
That's great. Thank you so much for that insight. So do we have another question?
Have you noticed that members that have been inactive have gotten more involved now that you are offering virtual social and wellness activities?
I see Paige Taylor nodding her head, so I'm going to ask you to go ahead with that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of members that we haven't heard of in a while, like getting in contact with us virtually, and they get excited about it because some of them do live fairly far away, and so it's not easy for them to get to the clubhouse. So as soon as they heard about virtual clubhouse, they hopped right on it, and we saw a lot of happy faces, which was amazing because having members in the clubhouse is one thing, but bringing in more members virtually is another, and it's groundbreaking.
So data-wise, we have, since the shelter in place and the increase of programming on virtual, as well as our being able to connect to our community by our food pantry deliveries, we have seen a surge in our membership of 28% just in the last couple of months.
Great, and you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we had quite an interesting physical closure of our clubhouse. The day that we were going to tell everybody that we needed to physically close, we also had a pretty significant earthquake here in Salt Lake City. And so as staff, we immediately went into action and we're like, we need to make sure everybody's safe. And by everybody, that means anybody that's ever had a connection with Alliance House. And so we completed about 700 phone calls in one day of, are you doing okay? Are you safe? Or like, are you hurt in any way physically? And then, oh, by the way, we have to physically close the clubhouse. And so it was a really difficult day, but we wanted to make sure everybody knew that we were still going to be connected. We're still going to be together as a community. And so we contacted all of our active members as well as our inactive members that we hadn't had contact with in a while. And just like Putnam, that led to an increase in actual active membership because a lot of people just wanted a way to stay connected. And when you're told that you have to shelter in place, that becomes a very isolating thing. And having a virtual option brought a lot of people in. Another thing I've seen, which I know is happening in every clubhouse, is there's members from other clubhouses that are coming into our virtual activities. And it's really been an awesome way for us to get to know people from other clubhouses that we wouldn't typically have interactions with because they're coming and they're joining our social activities. Do you have anything, Hannah?
Just what you're saying with the clubhouses from around the world that are coming into with ours, and it makes it more of a larger sense of community for us. And I think that's great. It really, it brings it back to how Clubhouse got started with WANA, with We Are Not Alone. And just, we're not alone. We have people not just in my city now, but all over the world who we can interact more freely with.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. IDC, do you have another question?
Thank you. This will be your last question today. Do you find that some inactive members that may be getting involved with social programming are also interested in getting involved in the Clubhouse work order day too?
good question, and I think it's in your head. So, or nodding rather. So, would you like to take that first?
Definitely. So since we started implementing social programming, it's really given a lot of our inactive members a chance to get to know people at the Clubhouse, and it's not as scary for them, it seems, because they are familiar with who we are, even though it's through Zoom or Facebook, phone calls, what have you. From there, we have seen an increase in members interested in helping out at the Clubhouse. They often reach out to the Clubhouse asking, how can we get connected? Do you need help doing deliveries? When can we come in and help? Can I help you enter data? Can I make phone calls? We get a lot of questions from people that used to be inactive that are now active members in the Clubhouse. So we've definitely seen an increase in participation in our work order day as well.
So one of the things that question makes me think of is when members are, whether they're new members or members that have re-engaged, and they come in actually to our morning meeting or our unit meeting, or different times in the day we connect for our members that are connecting with us virtually, and we talk about what we're doing, what we're working on. And so one of the very popular things that piques interest is birthday cards, and we did a campaign sending out postcards to all of our clubhouses around the world, and we recently did a mailing to all of our members, and that has been some work that has been very, very interesting. And we have members asking, well, I would like to participate. So we package up all of these mailings, giving every one of our members what they need to participate, and we make deliveries to their homes so that they can work on it together. And sometimes that can look like a few people in the physical space of the clubhouse working while somebody is connecting virtually and has a window into the clubhouse space, and everybody that way is working on writing letters and cards and talking while you're working. And that's been a very exciting to watch develop. It's been great to be able to drop work off and engage our members that way.
Great, thank you. And Paige and Anna, do you have anything to add to that?
Thanks, Lisa. This virtual reality that we're living in right now, I think, has added a whole new level of humanity to Clubhouse. I mean, we have people in our homes. Like, this is, I never thought I'd be dancing in a tutu in my kitchen with Clubhouse. Like, that's just the new reality that we're living in. And with that, we have members that are teaching Tai Chi in their bedroom. And it allows us to connect on a different level than we've ever been able to just through the walls of our Clubhouse. And so members that haven't typically came into the Clubhouse that are joining on these social activities and are seeing us be silly and interacting and sharing really intimate parts of our personal life constantly, I think that just gives a new desire to engage in the work order day and get on to the work order day and help in those ways so that we can keep these things going. And so I think absolutely social activities have increased the involvement of those that are virtually interacting in the work order day. Do you have anything to add, Anna?
You did perfectly.
Okay. Thank you.
That is such a great point. I really love thinking about everyone's communities entering into their homes, and that's a really interesting way to end this discussion that we've had today. And so I wanted to thank everyone who submitted a question and to our panelists for their insightful responses and presentations. Our next webinar will be held on July 8th, so be on the lookout for some more information on that in the coming weeks. And also, if any of you watching have an idea for a future webinar topic, we'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to email us at wanawebinar@fountainhouse.org. That's WANAWEBANAR@fountainhouse.org. So thank you all again, and we hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you. If we have not answered your question today, please send an email to wanawebinar@fountainhouse.org. The recording will be available next week, and the slides will be distributed tomorrow. There will be a short survey on screen once the event ends today. Please take a moment to fill it out to give us your feedback. Thank you for coming to today's webinar. Please be on the lookout for announcements regarding our future webinar series. Have a wonderful day.